Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. That's right.
Last one of the year.
That's it. This is it. This is it. Our weekly podcast is back. And I'm joined tonight, as I am each and every, almost every week, by Calvin Thomas. What's going on, brother?
Man, what's going on? How was your Christmas? Everything went lovely?
It was excellent vacation away. Christmas, was down in North Carolina, and I apologize to the public that we weren't able to have a show. But this year, the schedule kind of felt kind of wonky. You know what I mean? Christmas Eve was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Christmas Day was a Thursday. So next year will be better because it'll go a little further along. So we'll be back on our regular rotation. But hey, we've been running Get Off the Damn Fence for 2 years now.
Yeah.
About a year and a half. What? A year and a half?
Year and a half. Yeah.
Our second season, and it's our first week we missed in a while. You know what I mean? So hey, one way or another, we try to give you a show each and every week. So again, we appreciate all the support, all the love. But I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and your family. We weren't here last week, but we were watching, and maybe it was for the best because if y'all have got a Larry that a lot of people got last week.
After that Sunday night.
Full disclosure, because before we go forward, we got to go back because we weren't here. I work I work for the Ravens Stadium. I work down there on Sundays, working in the command center. So I'm dealing with a lot of, the high ups with the team, and I hear some things, and sometimes I'll drop y'all a few nuggets here and there of what I hear. And sometimes it can be a bit frustrating being a Ravens fan working there because during the games, you're trying to balance your fandom and your professionalism. And I remember my first season down there, they used to say you really couldn't cheer or root or clap or whatever. That was under a different person who was running the Ravens at the time, the operations department. But our current leader, Rich, he is way more into, hey, all the team spirit we can have it. We don't care. If you feel like clapping, cheering, rooting. And John is a big Ravens fan. He don't care. So he loves that. So everybody know I'm very knowledgeable about the Baltimore Ravens, about football in general. So they'll ask me certain questions about if it's a controversial call. So if you recall the Pittsburgh game, when Isaiah Likely with the catch situation, and that was very controversial. All of us saw it as it was a catch, you know what I mean, and that caused quite an uproar. If you can only imagine within those four walls down there in the command center. So this past, and that was the last home game before this. So last week, the New England game, it was supposed to be 1:00. And they flexed it to 8:20. And I said, I don't think I can work this game. I need to concentrate and pay attention. So me and all my infinite wisdom, because I was going to go out of town for the holidays, I wanted to go spend some time with my mother, take her gifts, see my cousin, my sister. And, so I went over to my mother's house, took some gifts, and we ate dinner. She cooked a nice spread. We watching the game, and the Ravens is doing that thing. I mean, the Ravens, and then all of a sudden, Lamar goes down. Oh no, Lamar goes down. Snoop comes in, and Snoop is playing pretty well. Playing pretty. Game plan is normal. Actually, it was a tie game at halftime. Snoop go in there. We take the lead. Take a double digit lead.
Take a 2-score lead. Yeah.
Derrick Henry is cooking. Derrick Henry is cooking.
Just scored again.
And then all of a sudden, and mama, look, mind you, my mother go to bed kind. She was tired. She's like, oh, this game's over. Oh, we good. I was like, all right, I'm going to go watch the rest of the game at home. I went home. I'm sitting there. My mother, we scored again. My mother texted me, yeah, we win it. It's over. I'm going to sleep. We go. I said, yeah, I don't know. You know what, this team, double-digit leads ain't safe. And
double-digit fourth-quarter leads.
Sure enough, what do I see on the sideline? This 6'6", monster who just helped us get this lead has a coat on his shoulder. And Ali and look,
Keaton
was here because he been pushing, but Keaton Mitchell need more touches. And what do I say? Yes, at times, but I would like
not in rotation.
22 to have a rhythm. We're bludgeoning them. They have no answer for 22. And you take them out the game for the rest of the game? Calvin, what sense does that make?
I believe he averaged like 8 yards a carry too. So he was getting a first down plus every 2 carries.
And if y'all know me and you follow me on social media, I tend not to comment too much during the game. My cousin Devin, he is just the most emotional fan in the history of sports. You see him.
Maybe in the group chat.
He be in the group chat just saying, I'm like, chill out, man. Like, let's I get it. Here now, I'll put a comment. But he's just the most emotional fan. And I'm like, bro, okay, all right. But that game, I threw my hands up. John Harbaugh, I'm sorry, man. You are the head coach. And if you go through my timeline, I said it. It's time. It's over.
He had a play sheet last week.
It's over, man. It's over. I don't care. The fact that we did what we did last Sunday only pissed me off anymore. Anyway, so that sets the stage for where my mindset was heading into this past Sunday. So I just wanted to get everybody back. Saturday. So we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah.
Y'all would have got a bad, even worse version of that.
I wasn't picking them last week.
Me neither.
Even without Jordan Love.
Me neither.
So.
And Willis was cooking. We can talk about that too in a minute.
Yeah, until he got hurt. I mean, they never had any offensive rhythm, but until he got hurt.
Let's get into this because it's a lot to cover. But look, right now the Ravens are sitting. They've put themselves as an opportunity to make it to the dance. That's just the end of the look. A lot of things happen. Let's set the stage here. So last week, Derrick Henry goes into Green Bay because this was Derrick Henry. Look, I've watched the game a few times now, and I'm going to give Tyler Huntley his credit. He made some key passes, but more importantly, he used his legs.
Yep.
He had 60 yards rushing. I think a lot of people didn't pay attention to that. As much as credit we give him, Derrick Henry, for his 200 yards, Huntley made some key runs. He made one run that they wiped out with a penalty that was even more spectacular right before half. They wiped it out with a penalty. It didn't matter. The next play, he hits Isaiah Likely, gets us right back down there, and we scored right before halftime.
Yep.
I thought he managed the game extremely well. He just wasn't a placeholder. He actually made some plays with his legs, made good decisions with the football. But the key to that victory last Saturday night was Big 22. No doubt about it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look. Derrick Henry said, "Give me the ball. Don't let this happen again." Took the rock 36 times.
That's wow.
Got 200 yards. Got 4 touchdowns, and he could have kept going. And I will give the offensive line credit as well because, like you said, Huntley averaged 8 yards a carry. When you have that much in the backfield there, and you have a Huntley who I think he was like 17 to 20 for 100, a little over 100 yards, playing conservative football. You play ahead of the sticks. There was always 2nd and 5. 2nd and 4. It was never getting behind the sticks early on.
Agreed.
The first drive of the game was a thing of beauty. I think they ran the ball like 9 times on the first drive. And you get down there and score, and then you get the little push from Henry late. That first drive was and they turn around and give it right back in like 2 or 3 plays. But that first offensive drive was what your identity as a team should have been for the majority of the year, but especially without Lamar. A ton of Derrick Henry, Tyler Huntley using his legs. And when it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you look 2 reads, you can't make a play with the first down.
Take off.
It was not, I'm going to sit back here and scramble and try to make a play with my arm. It's look, he's not open. I'm gonna get the first down, and we're gonna continue to chew this clock. They had the ball for what, 8-9 minutes that first drive? Chewing the clock.
It was more than half of the first quarter. They just was destroying them.
Yeah.
And look, I know that there's been some discussion this week, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit more about who should start. Let's not talk about that. It's stupid. But
completely stupid.
The point is the game plan was the key. What I will give Huntley, not just that they ran the ball with Derrick Henry, the defense had to fear his legs.
Yeah.
And the fact that he took his check down. Go back and look at how many times he got 4 or 5 yards just throwing a quick pass to Andrews or Likely or Zay. He even got Bateman involved. Like, everybody was eating. Kohler had a nice catch or two.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he did a good job distributing the football and making precise. He didn't put the offensive line in a position to get him sacked because he didn't sit back there and look. I love Lamar, but sometimes when you're so spectacular and you're used to getting out of those plays that you looking to stretch the ball down the field,
and that's when you make mistakes.
When an 8-minute drive is what built this team. You remember early in Lamar's career, we led the league in like time of possession and rushing because that's what Greg Roman would do. Take the short plays, extended drives, keep the defense fresh. Long drives that's finished in touchdowns is a successful game plan. I don't care what team you're talking about. If I know that my defense is on that back leg, we can't get a pass rush. The best offense is an offense that's methodical, controls the clock, and you pounding the defense. Derrick Henry running for 4 or 5 yards and then popping an 8-yarder and then popping a 16 or 20-yarder. That's demoralizing. And that keep coming at you. I don't care what defense it is. I'm telling you, if they take the same mindset, this team could go a long way. Just don't forget who you got.
I sadly agree with you.
Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. So a lot happened this past week. Because after the Ravens, a lot of people did not expect the Green Bay game to go the way it did because we didn't know about Jordan Love going in. No Lamar. But whatever. You go into Lambeau, you get a victory. But it was still a long shot because at the end of the day, you needed Pittsburgh to lose to the Cleveland Browns. Now, if you looked at history, Pittsburgh has not won in Cleveland in quite a long time. That's a hard place for them to win. Yeah. But then something else happened while we've been away. DK Metcalf went on and got himself suspended for getting into an altercation with a fan. Now, Calvin, I'm sure you've been up on this. What happened between DK and this fan?
There's two stories. There's the DK saying he made a derogatory comment towards him, and then there's the fan saying he did nothing. He didn't do that. But then there's also a perspective where a relative of the fan says he does this to DK. Last year, Seattle went to Detroit. He did the same. He sits behind the bench and intentionally tries to get under his skin for whatever reason. They don't say what kind of history they have. And at this point, I guess they finally got the DK and he reacted as such. So what happened and what was caught on cameras is something that's built up over the last 2 seasons, and DK finally reacted to it. And unfortunately, or however you look at it, he was suspended for 2 games.
Let me say this. This is a epic fail on the part of 2 entities, stadium security and team security. It's no way in the world you allow a player to get that close to
an opposing player at that.
You just don't allow it to happen. Whoever you employ to patrol the sidelines, they should have been over there separating the player from the borderline. It's the middle of the game. It's not like he's walking off the field, going up the tunnel. It's not like the fan is approaching him. You go up and reach into the stands. You deserve whatever.
The guy leans down towards you.
Look, fans' job is to antagonize. I hate to say it. As long as now, the racial thing, no, all bets is off. But they don't have no video evidence, no audio evidence of that. I saw a recording. Nothing could be made out. But if that's DK's stance, that's DK's stance. But there's no way in the world. Team security. I work for the Ravens. I work for Safe Management. There's no way in the world either entity, Raven Security or Safe Management, would allow something like that to happen. And it wouldn't have never got that far. The fact that it did, somebody dropped the ball. That's all I can tell you.
Let me ask you this question, being what you said that you work for team security. If it's an opposing team and the opposing team security does not communicate that to you, what do you do then? Or are you still stepping in if you see that player going towards the sideline?
Anytime there's an altercation where a fan and a player is getting that close. Do you know how many people are on the sidelines during an NFL game?
You see a lot of people in red coats on the full Ravens
Exactly.
game.
There's no way in the world this happens. It just doesn't happen.
You see a red coat every 5 yards, maybe.
And DK, if this guy was that much of a problem, you should alert your team security that was a problem. If you look at every NFL head coach who's standing next to him, security.
Yeah.
Every coach.
Yeah.
On every sideline.
Look at I'm blaming on the Ravens guy, but you see him all the time. You look at Philadelphia, you see Big Dom, wherever you see the head coach. So.
Exactly. But it's not just him. They're not dressed like security. Ravens security or any team security wear regular team outfits. They are security guys. They blend in with the public. There are plenty of people you can turn to and say, hey, this fan is heckling me. This fan is an issue. That I want the guy removed. That's on him. So I'm sorry. I know Pittsburgh fans are crying. If you're going to cry about anything, that's DK's fault. That he put himself in a position.
And
he appealed it, and it got upheld. So there was no evidence.
I was going to say, they didn't do him any justice by not kicking him out that game. I think if he gets kicked out that game, it's only one game.
He only missed one game.
Yeah, I do think that. So
Yep. So then the Steelers go on to play in Cleveland this past Sunday and couldn't score one touchdown.
Nope.
A complete stinker.
Nope.
They lose to Shador, who didn't play great either. But Shador did everything he could to throw that game away. Interceptions. I mean, the Steelers went for it on 4th down in their own territory, gifted Cleveland with a field goal. So they still only needed a touchdown to win the game, regardless, because even if they had nothing. They had nothing going. Pittsburgh did. It was actually just bad. It was a bad football game. And Aaron Rodgers put one drive together at the end of the game. They start moving the ball. They get down in the red zone. And all you got to do is stop staring at Montez Valdez-Scantling and maybe throw it to one of the other 3 receivers, one of whom was wide open. But he just said, no, you're going to score this touchdown MVS, and I'm going to force the ball to you as many times as it takes. And they couldn't get it done. So now the Steelers and the Ravens set up a showdown Week 18 in Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football, where the Ravens are the 3.5. I think they 3.5 point favorites last time I checked.
That's when it opened as 3.5. I hadn't checked since, but I'll look now. But yeah, that's what it opened as.
If you had the look at it right now, what you got?
Look, when you go back to that first game, let's look at that first game. Let's go from there. Who killed you in that first game? DK Metcalf. He cooked Marlon Humphrey.
Yards.
You go back and look at that first game. What stands out besides DK? Those 3 missed calls that we talked about. Your Isaiah Likely touchdown, no touchdown. The Aaron Rodgers fumble, no fumble, and then the
touchdown. Zay Flowers touchback.
No, I was going to say the field goal penalty that caused them to take points off the board, and then they go down and score a touchdown. With those 3 plays, the Ravens probably blew them out by 10 points. So now I take away DK. I have this newfound run game that they can't not run the ball now at this point. They have to run the ball 30-40 times, and I have this defense in Pittsburgh that's missing TJ Watt. The Ravens should win this ball game. Now, this is me speaking as a logical fan and saying if everything goes right, they win. But if everything didn't go right the last game, and they should have won that ball game by 10 points. They should win this ball game, even though it's in Pittsburgh. But based on how the season's going, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. But they should win this ball game. If right now you should take 3.5 points, I'm talking about regardless of if Lamar Jackson suits up, because we've seen what this team can do if they run the football, and if they get Justice Hill back as well, which I think he was supposed to come back week 18. We'll know about the injury report tomorrow.
As long as he replaces Ali, I'm fine with it.
Derrick Henry should get 25 touches. Keaton Hill should get 7 to 10. Justice Hill should get 7 to 10, and they should win this ball game by 10 points and control the clock. I don't see why they shouldn't win. Like, look, this is me talking about after I said I thought they were going to lose against Green Bay, but based off what I saw Saturday, if you take that same game plan, how can Pittsburgh stop it? And how can Pittsburgh score without their DK and without their big tight end Washington, who I think he's going to be out.
And Calvin Austin might be out.
So why shouldn't they win? I don't care where this game is. I don't care what point in time. You have the more talented roster. You're playing better as of right now. You should win this ball game.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. The Ravens should have won the first game. They did. The Ravens should have won the first game. They did.
Yeah.
They had self-inflicted penalties, self-inflicted mistakes. If they turn the football over, they deserve to lose. And unfortunately, Pittsburgh always forces turnovers against the Ravens in big spots. But what's the caveat. The Ravens play well on the road. The Ravens play well on the road. If this game was in Baltimore, I would be scared. I would be frightened. And that's why I'm sad in a way that they have a home playoff game if they win this game. I wish they would go on the road.
But you know what's be interesting? I think it's different in the playoffs.
I hope so.
Early at home. I'm not going to say late.
Hope so.
But also, I'm assuming whoever wins this game, they're playing Monday night. I'm assuming.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
So
the matchup.
I have time, but I think playoff time is different. Early rounds at home.
I hope so.
You know,
here's the key.
We can't talk about on the road. We can't talk about early.
Here's the key. If you go back and look at the first game, early in that game, the Derrick Henry was not effective. Why? TJ Watt was crashing down every time.
This is Lamar injured, not affecting the run game.
He had no respect for Lamar Jackson's ability to run. So that has driven a lot of people to question, is TJ Watt healthy? Will TJ Watt play in this game? Now, as the game went on, Derrick Henry was successful. Derrick Henry was able to get his touches and got good yardage in that game. The key to me, a lot of people are asking, if Lamar Jackson is not well, if his back is not right, it clearly wasn't well enough for him to play last week. Yesterday he didn't practice. I don't know about today's status.
They didn't practice yesterday, I thought.
So today's the first day of practice.
Today would be the first day.
Did Lamar practice today?
Well, no, tomorrow will be the first day because they're playing Wednesday.
Did Lamar practice today?
I don't think they didn't practice today.
They didn't practice today. So he said he would have a better answer on Wednesday. I'm getting my days mixed up. You're right. Tomorrow. So we'll find out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm used to us recording this show on Wednesday.
But the only other thing I'll say is Lamar has missed Wednesday practice
every week
since he came back from the injury originally. So
is that a good thing?
I mean, he hasn't played like it, but I mean, if he's hurt, then
you need to rest.
You need to rest. So I think we'll get an indication Friday. Like if Lamar practices Friday, I think he plays. But on the other hand, I think Lamar's at the point where if he's 70%, he needs to play because we've and this is kind of getting off track. We've talked about, but I know we're going to talk about Mike Preston as well. But this is getting into the not has Lamar quit, but does Lamar have something to prove type thing. I don't think he's ever quit on this team. I think he's had injuries and he hasn't come to games. That doesn't mean he's quit. That just means he's injured and he was more than hurt. But I think it gets to a point where he starts to want to answer to the critics. So I think if he practices Friday, he plays.
Me personally, I don't care about none of that. I've never taken Mike Preston as serious as other people have. I've been reading Mike Preston honestly, and my hand to the Lord. When I was in middle school, when I was really, really starting to really get into football, I remember the Ravens was like, you know what I mean, 2000 when we won the Super Bowl, and I used to like read the Baltimore Sun every day. You couldn't, like me in the newspaper, the sports section was like my Bible. You know what I mean? Like I read Mike Preston. I mean, all those guys, man, like every day. Jameson Helmsley, like those articles, I used to read them like religion. And Mike Preston was full of it back then. Like he was always an antagonist, like a fake Skip Bayless, one of those guys, he's a local Skip, Jason Whitlock, you know, a coon who just like to take shots at black stars. That's what he always done.
I remember a time where this is probably like late 2000, 06, 07, where Ray Lewis had 15 tackles and he would come out and say Ray Lewis not hitting like he used to.
Exactly.
The man just had 16, 17 tackles and you worry about how hard he hit somebody?
He wrote bad articles about Ray, how he didn't want to be there.
He talked about Ed Reed when he was drafted, how they didn't need a free safety. I remember that article as well.
To run with Bart Scott over Ray Lewis. Yeah. I remember all that.
Remember that when Ray supposedly, he was the one that reported that Ray went to I forgot who was on Cowboys. Said, I want to play with that. I want to put that star on my helmet. I remember all that.
Yep. So look, I get it. I came on this very podcast. If y'all go run the tape back, I'm not playing that video. I really wasn't supposed to say nothing. And I told you when Lamar got hurt the first time that I was told on good authority that he could have played. and he skipped out that. Remember that game?
The Kansas City game.
I said, y'all said, oh, it's the Achilles. You know, you don't want to play with that. I heard that the team said he was well enough to come back sooner than he did. And they was going, Lamar wanted to hold out till after the bye. And then he was supposed to come back for the Chicago game. And he was like,
it was a short week.
I'm coming back in Miami.
They use that as an excuse.
So that's when a lot of this started bubbling up. And I heard that from within the ranks, not no Mike Preston. So I'm not saying everything he said was probably something somebody said to him. But what I'm saying is the team doctor knows her prognosis, but team doctor been wrong a lot. If you really want to get into it, look, the team doctor has had some issues over the last few years. There was even discussions about bringing in a new team doctor, new training staff, everything, because there's been some issues. You know, when we was having all those issues with
strength and training, strength and conditioning.
Remember that? Remember all that stuff?
Yeah.
Remember all the Achilles issues and all the issues we was having with different running backs going down and all these soft tissue issues, the injuries that just kept popping up. There was a lot of issues around that. So Lamar doesn't have an agent. We know that. Lamar represents himself. Nobody is talking from Lamar's camp. So anybody who said that they heard this from whatever is coming from someone within the team talking out of turn. That's what it is. Call it what it is.
Yeah.
But it just creates all this unnecessary drama, is what I'm saying. My thing is, if the man ain't healthy, of course he's not going to play up to the standard. He just showed us last year. He was just in an MVP race last year. Let's not act like the guy
41-4, 4,000 yards.
This very season,
and
Buffalo against at the start of this year, he was putting up
40.
sensational numbers.
Yeah.
And if Derrick Henry don't fumble it a couple times, we win those games.
Yeah. The only thing I'll give Mike Preston for, and you can connect the dots if you follow this team for a couple years, you can say go from A to B to C to D. When they changed their practice schedule, which is around, I guess, 2021, 2022, from the morning to the afternoon. And then the question was asked, and it came, and then it said, well, you know, we play games in the afternoon. And then it was kind of leaked out at that point that
it was Lamar.
Well, it was the leader who the captains wanted to move to the afternoon. And then it came out that it was Lamar. And if you want to say, well, what's the reason why? I mean,
I'm going to tell you another thing. If anything, it was a challenge to the authority of the leadership of the team was when that whole story came out about the toys getting taken out of the locker room and the televisions getting taken out of the locker room.
Pinball machines and all that. Yeah.
And Lamar, nobody told who did it at first. Marlon went on
his podcast and said something.
And said it. And then Lamar said, yeah, I said it. You know what I mean? So it made it like he was like pulling rank a little bit. So it's people surmising a lot of stuff. Harbaugh has always given Lamar ultimate praise.
You can't give me a quarterback that in a superstar quarterback that does not get to have a set of rules for themselves. I don't care if it's Josh Allen, if it's Pat Mahomes. If 100%. You are a superstar quarterback, you get the liberty of some things that other players don't get.
I don't care if you won a Super Bowl or not. You the star of the franchise.
Yeah. If you are MVP caliber quarterback,
two-time MVP, could have been 3.
Yeah,
like all pro, reigning all pro quarterback. Remember that.
No shot. But the rules that apply to Lamar don't apply to Michael Penix Jr.
No. That's a different level. And Shedeur wants those rules, and he ain't earned them yet. That's the difference. You people trying to compare Shedeur and a Lamar. Lamar put in work to get where Lamar is, and you still don't hear Lamar in the media. You still don't hear Lamar saying anything. And, he need to get an agent. Why? So y'all can talk to the agent and get the inside.
The man got what? How many million guaranteed? And then he also negotiated no trade clause. And then he also negotiated a no franchise tag clause in his contract. So he's not going to be franchised. He's not going. If he gets traded, it's because he said yes.
And then here's another thing. I listen to Nick Wright. Nick Wright just always got something to say about Lamar. And he said, Lamar wants out. You know, he wants Harbaugh gone. He's pulling rank. I said, okay. Maybe the Harbaugh thing has traction. Let's say it does. Do you think Lamar would sacrifice himself winning a Super Bowl if this year, when no Mahomes, the path is there.
No Burrow. Yeah.
No Burrow.
If you get Allen, it's at home because you got one you go in the division.
If Lamar was healthy, Lamar would be playing. So stop insulting that man.
You know, the other thing that doesn't make sense. You're saying this is, or not you, but they're saying this is rift between Harbaugh and Lamar. Do you think if they fire Harbaugh, which we can debate what's going to happen, that if another coach comes in, he's going to give the same liberties to Lamar that Harbaugh gave him, or is he going to try to pull rank and show that he's their leader? So why would he want this if he knows this man's going to give me whatever I want, but I want him gone?
And people are not looking at this clear. The issue is not Lamar and Harbaugh. The issue has been that Lamar has too much control, not that he has enough control. The issue people have said is we should be running the football more, taking the ball out of Lamar's hand. Not that we should not be what would Lamar's issue would be? They giving me the ball too much? They giving me too much control? No. A lot of people saying that in the playoffs, in the big games, we call too many pass plays where Lamar got all the ball in his hand. And you don't run the ball enough. I could see if we was just run, and Lamar was getting frustrated that they wasn't allowing him to play the style of football he wanted to play, then you could probably see a rift like, oh, they cut my legs off. The man was in contention for MVP again last year. That would have been his third MVP. He was the all-pro quarterback in the league. Yeah. And then he went out and got Todd Monken and improved the passing game. Yeah. And the passing game has improved. So what exactly, I just don't think people think when they talk. Because earlier this season, Lamar was on pace for another MVP year until he got hurt. What are y'all talking about? Like, it's just making stories up to try to justify what?
Making stories because you don't have because Lamar and his camp don't talk.
If we can say that Harbaugh has not led a successful team, how many times have we seen John Harbaugh ask Lamar, you want to go for it? And Lamar just go. Yeah. He defers to his quarterback.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, Lamar wants Harbaugh because he got his ear.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes. So why don't I want someone else to come in that's want to go and want to establish ranks and take away some of my power?
If
what
anything,
sense does that make?
He doesn't want them to get rid of Harbaugh because Harbaugh going to play to what he want to do.
You're right.
Like, you don't want nobody come in and just shake the table. Like, all these people, he can get traded to Miami. He can play, so he can go down there.
Miami not winning. Miami isn't close to winning. So why would he?
Stupid.
It makes no sense. The Ravens can pay him more. Ravens are closer to winning Miami is. So what's the point of going to Miami? Oh, he wants to go play for the Vegas and because of Brady. They're not close to winning either.
The whole thing is, and I said this, Harbaugh doesn't give people enough in these press conferences. That's what it is. Yeah. Or they read into what he say. He's lying. Like when he said, "Oh yeah, Lamar's fine." Oh yeah, and then they're like, "Well, Lamar's not fine." Okay, he lied. Can we chalk it up? How many times did Bill Belichick not give you anything in his press conferences when we talk about injuries?
Real?
Bill Parcells, same thing. The player is fine. Like they don't give. They give.
But it's a problem with him.
Everybody, I'm tired of these riddles in the press conferences. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they do. The smart ones, you don't get up there and tell the complete and honest truth because then what? You're giving the other team an advantage. If Lamar's not healthy, I'm going to tell the team on Tuesday, yeah, I don't know. Lamar's not looking good this week. It's
I guess we got to figure out a plan for Huntley. We got to figure.
and then here's another thing. Oh, look at the injury report. So let me ask you a question, guys. What was the Ravens fined for, like early in the season, for not doing what? Reporting something on the injury report at the last minute, right? About Lamar Jackson. So ever since then, what do? They just put anything. Oh, it's his toe. It's his ankle. It's his
leg.
Any lower leg. They got pick one. They lying. What part of that don't y'all get?
And if you notice, I think it changed the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Sick. He got an illness. The man was out at the school washing kids' feet. And then the next day he had a cold. Like, y'all, basically, we're giving Lamar off on Wednesday.
It's been that way for 7, 8 weeks.
And the way we do that, we got to list something on the injury report.
And then the question comes, so Lamar in practice, is he okay? What you want me to say?
Bruh, are people stupid? Like, they're gaming the system. Gambling is like ingrained into
same way New England was when Brady was on the injury report every week, and he was questionable every week. Did you ever thought he wasn't going to play?
Questionable every week. They lying. Like, but no, they're not lying. Lamar is dinged up, but just saying specifically what it is. So they should start playing around. 1 week is his toe, 1 week is his knee, 1 week is his thigh, 1 week is his calf. Like, they're playing with you. They're gaming the system, because this was all after they got fined by the NFL for not declaring an injury before the weekend or something stupid they did or whatever like that. Anyway, I just think people just got to have something to talk about, got to fill radio and got to fill TV time, so they just don't think sometimes. Like, if Lamar was healthy with this opportunity in front of him, he would be playing on Sunday. If for whatever reason Lamar does not play on Sunday, look, when I saw him get hurt in the New England game, I was like, the hit didn't look that bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
agree.
Did something happen like the play?
And you couldn't even go back and figure out what hit it was, because they just showed you that hit and they
just assumed that was it. But I'm like, he played another play. Did he tweak it? Remember, he handed off and it was like a weird handoff. I'm like, did he tweak it when he tried to turn? And then he left the game, because he didn't leave the game right away.
Yeah, he played a couple more plays. They punted, and then he came out and then come back the next series, I believe.
He handed the ball off, and it was like an awkward handoff at the last second.
Like
and it looked like he twisted himself wrong or something like that.
And if you saw him Saturday, he looked like he was walking around stiff. Now, he could have had some brace or some heat on there, but he was walking around stiff. Like, he wasn't twisting or bending over. But he was out there. He was communicating with Huntley every time he came off the field. He was talking with Monken about the plays.
I know he spent a lot of time on this. This is important. I just think people need to open their brain. I love the way Huntley's played, but that's what backup's supposed to do.
Yes.
Play serviceable in a backup role.
Not lose you games. And Huntley did not lose that game.
That means he's a great backup, and the Ravens should never let him go. You should have never brung in the guy from the Cowboys. I don't even want to use his name, but he should have been the backup all along. He's the perfect
re-sign Huntley, and he knows his role. He knows his role. He had 20 attempts, 16 completions, he had 120 yards. He's taking the plays as they come, but he's keeping you ahead of the chain, and you got to win.
That's what a good insurance policy does. If you're paying a man that much money in Lamar Jackson, you should ensure that just in case something happened, you got something that could come in there and give you same type production, or I mean not same type, but at least keep the engine going. And that's what Huntley can do. So if it comes down to it, and Huntley has to start on Sunday night, I feel confident he'll be able to carry out a game plan, and they'll be able to win the game. But my preference, of course, is my All-Pro, 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson at full strength, playing the game. Like, I don't think, like, if you look at the New England game, he was playing great before he got hurt. They was on a drive about to score when that happened. So let's not act like the guy's just been completely horrible all along. Like, he played well in Cincinnati. He follows that up with a good performance in the first half against New England, and he gets hurt on a scoring drive. Like, why would he tap out at that point? They weren't down, and he was sulking or nothing like that. Like,
they were up.
Your excuse makes no sense if you feel like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, so to me, the key is Harbaugh, Monken, get your shit together and ride 22. If y'all want to win this game, the key will be Todd Monken, regardless of Lamar starting or if Huntley's starting, not forgetting that the identity of this team starts on the ground and play action pass off of it. And at the end of the day, Lamar, if you out there, you can't be hesitant. And if you feel like you can't do what you used to do, tap out and get Huntley in there as quickly as possible before it snowballs.
Look, you want a bye week, win 4 games, and you get a bye week.
Yep, pretty much.
Win 4 games. And we talk about the AFC. You can't tell me who the favorite is in the AFC. We can go back and forth. We can rank these teams 1 through 7. We're gonna have a different ranking. There is no favorite in the AFC. All these teams are flawed. And the only reason I would say Buffalo has a chance, because whatever matchup Buffalo has, they got the best quarterback in the game. So if you tell me I can get Lamar Jackson in there at 80, 90%, and I got Derrick Henry, and I got Keaton Mitchell, and I got Justice Hill, and I can run the ball.
And Zay Flowers.
You got Zay Flowers making plays. I got Isaiah like he's back engaged. Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not? And I'm going to have a home playoff game. I may have 2. But I'm not scared to go to Denver. I've already won in Denver. I'm not scared to go to New England. I've won in New England. I'm not scared of Jacksonville. I've won in Houston last year. When Houston beat the Ravens this year, they missed 9 starters. Why am I going to even look at that game? I beat the Chargers last year in LA.
And you know how you defeat Houston, you run the football. You know what I mean? Like you don't become predictable. And that same Houston team, almost the exact same team, we smoked them on Christmas last year. It's almost the exact same team. In Houston.
They scored what? Did they score 3 points?
I think they scored on the safety.
Yeah. Derrick Henry safety. Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. Again, the Ravens had to handle their business. That's the big game of the weekend in the AFC. That's really the one. But it is another game that we have to look at, and that's that Broncos-Chargers game. That's going to be interesting. That's the only other game that really is going to affect the seeding of it, because if the Broncos were to win, they will have the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, home field advantage throughout. But if they are to stump their toe to the Chargers, and the Patriots will move up to that number 1 spot on Sunday, and they will have the best record, and everything will go through Foxborough. It's like time is a circle or something like that. New England back on top. Drake might be the MVP. There's a lot there. Jacksonville still has an outside chance. If New England loses on Sunday, which is highly unlikely, they have a favorable matchup.
Jets.
Yeah, it's a favorable matchup. But so they get that. No, they played it just last week. They get a bye week basically. I think New England's playing the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Dolphins beat Tampa Bay last week.
I don't think any of these games are interesting outside of Baltimore and Pittsburgh and the AFC. I think the Chargers rest Herbert because he got that fractured forearm. I think New England doesn't matter for New England because they're going to win the division. I didn't realize they could fall to 3. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
The Buffalo was the interesting thing is Buffalo because they lost to Houston in Houston.
They locked in.
I didn't realize they were behind the Chargers, but I don't think they played Josh Allen. I think he's hurt.
Yeah,
as you look at the Philadelphia game. So the Chargers and Buffalo, I think they stay where they are. I think Houston wins because they try to they try to win the South. So I don't think there's any matchup that's really gonna. I don't think anything's gonna change from this picture outside unless you think Jacksonville loses and then Houston and Jacksonville flip.
Let's say it stays let's say the Ravens get in. All right, so everything else stays the same. It's New England and Buffalo in the first round. Got Baltimore and Houston, 4-5 matchup. In Jacksonville and Los Angeles at full strength. We just saw that not long ago. Man, Baltimore and Houston, first round. What you think?
In Baltimore, in the cold, I've seen this before. They came here a couple years ago, lost. We went there last year on Christmas, lost. Now I'm not going to count the game this year, as I said, because they were missing 9 starters. I believe 8 or 9 starters.
Lamar didn't play.
Ricard didn't play. Roquan didn't play. Likely didn't play. Matabik has been out for the year. Van Noy didn't play. Like they missed so many starters. I'm not counting that against them. So
he didn't have a Gilman yet.
And then it's at home. It's at home. It's in the cold. It's probably gonna be a night game. I'm taking Baltimore.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. We'll look at that over the NFC. Seattle, man, it's a big matchups this weekend.
Seattle, San Fran for the 1 seed. I didn't think San Fran would win. I think I took the under on their total. It was like 10.5.
I know you didn't have them. 30.
No, hell no.
Yeah. We'll get into it. But first, I made this before I knew Justin was going to be here tonight. But what the hell is going on with these Bucks? Well, I never believed in the Bucks. I told y'all from the jump that this team was overrated, flawed, and they lucky Kirk Cousins wasn't fully recovered from that injury at the beginning of the season, and he didn't start, and they started Michael Penix. Because Kirk would have took this team to the playoffs, man. Because Atlanta been looking good. Offensively,
looking good,
and defensively. But the Bucks look terrible, man. As hot as they started, they lost 5 in a row now, 4 in a row.
The fact that they don't have
6 out of 7,
they don't have their destiny in their own hands. It's crazy at this point. Like even if they can win and still not make the playoffs,
because heading into Monday night, Tampa Bay needed to win that Week 18 game, and they also needed Atlanta to lose one of his last 2 games. But then Atlanta messed around and went out there and beat the Rams. Like Bijan was out there running all over everything.
Yeah.
Like Bijan had I know he won you your fantasy league. We'll talk about it later.
We'll get into that. Didn't even need it, but we'll get into that.
But like that was crazy. So now that sets up a matchup between Atlanta and New Orleans on Sunday, where New Orleans got to beat Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Then Tampa Bay need to beat Carolina, and that's just to give themselves a chance. But if Tampa Bay wins this game, but Atlanta wins, that sets up a three-way tie, and then Carolina win a tiebreaker. Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's how you had your own destiny in your hand, and you couldn't do nothing with it. But let's just for the sake of
you couldn't beat Miami last week. That's even what is that even worse?
With a backup quarterback.
With a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
A rookie quarterback.
And your season on the line.
Yeah.
And Carolina lost.
Yeah.
Carolina lost. They did that job. And all you had to do was beat the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
But now you get to play Carolina. Who you got, Calvin?
I'm going to go with Tampa. I know they lost to Carolina 2 weeks ago. I just think they're not going to go out like this. You're going to ask me, was it different from 2 weeks ago? I can't say much, but I'm just going to think the Tampa Bay is going to realize that they need this and they're going to dig down deep and get this game. But why? And the other thing I'll say is Bryce Young in big games has not played well. And I've said it all year long. So this is a big game. This is to go to the playoffs. But even still, they can lose this game and still make the playoffs. So all the pressure's on Tampa Bay.
I just think Carolina's defense is better. They're the best unit. I think Carolina's defense will keep them in the game. The running game with those two backs, they'll do just enough. I'm going with Carolina, man. I just think they're the better team. I think they are Baker and those receivers. They got everybody back, and they just do not look good. And Baker is a turnover machine.
Baker looks hurt. He looks injured.
He's running for his life. That's what he looked like
regularly. Yeah.
So that's going to determine that last spot that everybody wants to play, the 4. So I think people are chomping at the bit to get to that 5 spot. So that's going to be interesting. But the big one is the number 1 seed's on the line, and that's between Seattle and San Francisco. Seattle got a big victory last week. Look, man, Sam Darnold hasn't been perfect, but he's been effective. He's done just enough. The defense keeps them in every game. But that San Francisco game, a hell of a performance 2 weeks in a row. Now, the first one was against the Colts, who, they ran Phillip Rivers out there.
Yeah.
And they shredded that defense. But you got to give Brock Purdy credit for that performance he put up. Him and Caleb Williams went head-to-head, and Brock didn't blink, man. He didn't blink. He threw a pick 6 on the opening drive and didn't look back from there.
Yeah.
Threw 2 touchdowns, threw 3 touchdowns, ran 2 in, was impressive. Christian McCaffrey, MVP candidate. This team has been decimated by injuries. I've been thinking about it. We're going to give our season superlatives next week, or probably, in the week 18. But Kyle Shanahan has to be in the running.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. He has to be. Yeah. But what's your thought? Who you got?
Look, I've talked bad about Brock Purdy. I still don't believe in Brock Purdy, but he's been playing on fire the last month of the season. I think he's got like 13 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks with 2 interceptions. They're at home and they're just on fire. I gotta go with San Fran. I both of these quarterbacks, they're much more on in my opinion, but Brock Purdy has been playing like he wants to take that next step into that possible top 10 range or top 5 range quarterback wise. He's been playing for as long as he's been out, as much grief as he took for being out with the injury that he had. When he came back and he was completely healthy, he's been playing on fire with receivers in and out, with Kittle in and out. Had Tongas last week looking like he was the next coming to Kittle. I got San Francisco, and they're going to be the 1 seed, and I would not have said that 8 weeks ago. And the Super Bowl is in San Fran, in Santa Clara.
That's why.
So they don't have to leave Santa Clara for the next month. I got San Francisco.
In a year where we say is wide open, honestly, if San Francisco finally breaks through, it would be poetic. You know what I mean? Like,
been there twice, lost to Kansas City. Yeah.
It would be. And Kansas City kept them out twice, and now Mahomes not there. That's a hurdle they don't have to cross.
Yeah.
It would be poetic if they was to get it done. Now, did they lose to Cincinnati one year?
San Fran?
No, Cincinnati lost to Philly. Right?
No, Cincinnati lost to LA.
Oh, yeah, the Rams. Yeah. So, they lost to Kansas City both times. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It would be poetic, man. Yeah. Brock Purdy was MVP candidate a few years ago. People thought, Lamar took his MVP. No,
he beat him on Christmas. You saw that match on Christmas.
Hit the head. But no, he's finishing strong. But this is a statement game for both quarterbacks. Who needs to make a bigger statement in this game? I think Brock's already made his statement. He's been there. He's a made man. Been to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
But I think Sam Darnold need this, baby. You need this. I think he has a rep. Now, he kind of overcame a little bit of a hurdle winning that Rams game a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And we all picked the Rams to win that game. We were all wrong. But Sam played well. He didn't play great. And that little crazy 2-point conversion really helped them. But I thought Sam stepped up to the plate and won a big game. But to me, this sets up. Remember, this happened last year in Minnesota. Last game of the season, he had a chance to get that top seed and choke.
Yeah.
You going with San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm going with San Fran.
Yeah. I think Sam Darnold really needs this, man. He needs this. We'll see. This is gonna be good. That's Saturday night, man. There's 2 good games on Saturday night.
I mean, that's whoever loses, they're the 5 seed, and they're going to the NFC South.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to be an easy win.
Good consolation prize. Yeah. Good consolation prize.
Yeah.
So, those are the only big matchups for this weekend. But let's just take a look around some of these other teams that pretty much are locked in. But some of these other disappointing teams from last week, we haven't been here for the last couple weeks. But one team I would like to highlight for sure is definitely the Detroit Lions, man. Wow. What a difference a year makes, man. What a difference a year makes. And the question I've been asking is, look at the ascension of the Chicago Bears, 11-5 atop the division. Who would have said that a year ago? But they go out and they take the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, and now he's their head coach and their offensive coordinator. And look how the 2 teams flip. One team ascends to the top, where the last team, remember, Chicago was 4th place last year.
Yeah.
They go get Ben Johnson. They in 1st place, and Detroit's in last place. So what we say about that?
And even still, they played hard against San Francisco. They lost, but they played hard. They were in contention. Caleb Williams taking leaps and bounds. Look, Detroit, I feel like they had the mindset of, if we stay healthy, we're going to make the Super Bowl. And they stayed healthy, and the attrition set in, and they got worse. And look, one thing I'll say, Dan Campbell, they stopped calling plays. You had one good game, but overall, this was a failed experiment. Stop calling plays. Go back to doing what you're doing. And also, look, punting on 4th down and taking the points is not a bad thing. You can go back and look at half of their losses and see where they gave away points or gave away field position on missed 4th downs. Their percentage this year compared to last year, I think it's down like 10-15%, and they went for it even more. Mm-hmm. The aggressiveness is nice, but you're putting your defense in a bad position. You're not taking points, and then those come back to bite you late in games. Dan Campbell's aggressiveness is what we loved about him going the last couple of years. You got to rein in a little bit now. Your Jared Goff wasn't as good as it was last year. Offense take a step back, defense take a step back, and you can have that same aggressiveness and you're giving away points, and it hurts you. And now you missed the playoffs. A year after you were the number 1 seed, I mean, you lost in the divisional round, but you were the favorites last year. You're the favorites coming into this year in your own division, and you're going to finish 4th maybe?
But you had the excuse last year, we lost Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah,
you had a defense
last year. Yep. That was your excuse.
No excuse. And everybody said the Ravens the most disappointing team. Ravens still got a chance to make the playoffs.
No.
Detroit Lions
was the number 1. Detroit was 15-2 with the injuries. You get everyone back healthy, and you lose. You don't make the playoffs.
You might not be 500. To me, that is the most disappointing team in the league. Yeah. And I've been looking around, man. I'm like, look, as we talk about Buffalo don't have half the talent Detroit got. They don't have half the talent. They got Josh Allen, James Cook.
I'm taking every skill position player in Detroit over Buffalo.
Everyone.
I'm taking Gibbs over Cook. So everyone.
Yeah. Everyone. Tight end. Yep. Like to me, that is when they say the most talented roster, they said Ravens got the most talented roster. I'll say that we have bigger names at defense definitely for sure. But offensively, Zay Flowers, and then you got, I think people forget it, like they act like we just got all pro receivers all over the field.
No.
Bateman is not like, he's not even top 100.
Bateman had a good year last year.
Okay.
And when he was reliable and he had a good season. He didn't have that same season. Now you can say it was the offensive line, you can say it was the offense, whatever the case may be.
He's had been nicked up too.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just saying, let's not act like the roster that Detroit has is not loaded. You know what I mean? So I just look around the league, and I'm just going to say this real quick. Let's just look at some of these coaches and what they've done to put their teams in position to lead that division. Mike Vrabel with New England. Look at the turnaround the Patriots have had.
Yeah.
They get Drake May last year in the draft. A lot of people was like, oh, he's good. He's serviceable. Vrabel comes in, 13-3 MVP candidate. Not saying it's all him, but Josh McDaniels too. You know what I mean? That's a great – Liam Cohen, go down there to Jacksonville. He comes from Tampa Bay, goes to Jacksonville, does a hell of a job with Trevor Lawrence. They 12-4 atop the South. And look, it's not like Houston still hasn't been good, but Jacksonville's kept serve. Give him credit. New location, pull a team for where they have been. Look, as much as I don't like Denver and what they did to Russell Wilson, the way they did it, at the end of the day, 13-3 is 13-3. And that's what all that Russ money still getting paid out. Think about that. They still were able to put a championship caliber defense out there. Drafted Bo Nix.
And they get rid of cap space now.
Give them credit for the turnaround. And look, coaching matters. You know what I mean? They're not the prettiest team to watch, but they 13-3, possibly a number 1 seed contender. Then you go to Chicago. Ben Johnson coming from Detroit. You take Caleb Williams, who a lot of people thought was just like erratic. JD5 was the overall star of the draft last year over him. Caleb was overrated. And now this year, we all looking at Caleb like, okay, Caleb was great. And that tells you the difference between what a good coach can do. You know what I mean? Like, Eberflus couldn't do that with, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, let's be real. And in Seattle, look, I know he's my guy, Baltimore Ravens coach, but McDonald has turned the Seahawks around. Go look at the Seahawks a few years ago before McDonald got there. Everybody like, why he take that job? They go out and trade away DK Metcalf. Trade him away. Everybody like, why would you give
JSN flourishes.
You saw JSN and DK together. Like, why wouldn't you keep that two as a unit? Well, clearly, they saw something we didn't see. They go out and get Sam Darnold, put him there with JSN, and the team must look good. 13-3. Possibly they put themselves in the chance on the last day of the season to possibly be number 1 overall seed. And look, tip my hat to all of them.
Yeah.
I tip my hat. What's your thoughts?
I was reliving the past and just thinking in a different world. The Ravens winning 23 and Harbaugh retires. I've heard that story from 2 different accounts. That's the reason he didn't end up in Washington, because they heard he was taking the Ravens job if they won, and they moved on. But look, shout out to Mike McDonald and the turnaround that he's had out there. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan and what he's done in San Francisco with all the injuries. They may get Fred Warner back in the, I believe he said, NFC Championship game, because they get a bye and then they get 2 more weeks and they're all at home. Shout out to Ben Johnson, how he turned that offense around. The 2-headed monster they have at running back. DJ Moore is out there flourishing. Loveland is out there playing well as well. The NFC is just loading. We haven't even talked about Philadelphia and what they did in Buffalo for 1 quarter. And then the next 3 quarters on offense, they did nothing. It was enough, but the defense held on for dear life. And now it was rain. It started raining hard in the middle of the game, so take the weather into account as well. But they couldn't even run the ball effectively.
I'm gonna say this. I know y'all hate Philly. I know y'all do. You and Justin. I know y'all do. I'm still taking them over every team in the NFC right now. They're my Super Bowl pick. I'm not moving off of it, bruh. That defense will travel. That defense, I watched that Chicago and San Francisco game. They have no defense. Neither one of those teams. They run up against Philly, and Brock Purdy start throwing them interceptions like he did. They ain't coming back.
Who does Chicago play? Chicago plays
I'm telling you right now, mark it down, take a picture. If they run
Detroit.
If they run up against Philly, they in for a short trip to the playoffs because they going home.
Who?
If the Rams run up against Philly, they going home. I'm telling you, I have no confidence in the Packers. They better not get back.
I don't have confidence in the Packers. No.
I'm trying to look at this field here.
Caleb
ain't proved me nothing.
The thing that
in the playoffs.
Look, if Philadelphia stays 3, and if they tie with Chicago, they're going to be 3. But Chicago plays Detroit, and Detroit could decide to play spoiler. That means the LA Rams go to Philadelphia. They almost beat them last year in the snow. I'm not saying I wouldn't take the Rams. I'm just this offense is gonna make me think twice.
Here's the thing about the Eagles, and I'm gonna say this: I think anybody will almost beat the Eagles. I think anybody can almost beat them.
Okay, you're gonna say, but they got to beat them. Okay,
you got to beat them. And in the playoffs, style points don't matter. Only thing that matters at the end of the game: did you win or did you lose? Can you tell me the score of that game last year in the playoffs? Can you tell me the score of the Super Bowl? I know who won the Super Bowl. I don't know what the score was, but I know who won. And that's all that matters.
Do you think Philadelphia can go to San Francisco and win?
Yes. Yes. They don't have no defense.
I mean, Buffalo doesn't have a defense. They couldn't score the ball in the last 3 quarters.
Agreed, but the Buffalo defense has gotten better against the pass, and they couldn't run the ball. Look, if you're telling me Lane Johnson is not coming back, I think he'll be back, and I think
he'll be back.
I think they'll be better come playoffs, and I think it's something about championship pedigree that you gotta account for that. Again, I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at the field. Detroit not in, Minnesota not in. Minnesota would have scared me defensively, but I'm looking at the defenses like Carolina, maybe. Carolina got a defense there on the offense. Seattle is the only caveat, but Sam Darnold. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody I'm looking at, I'm like the Rams, but we just seen the Rams lose to the Panthers, the Falcons, the 49, Seattle.
Yeah.
Like they're not unbeatable. A couple weeks ago, everybody was telling me the Rams are the best.
That was I had them number 1. You
got to prove it on the field, man. That's why they play the game.
So what, in your opinion, what's the difference between who would you take in the Philly-Chicago matchup, knowing what we just saw on Black Friday?
I'll still take Philly.
Okay.
I still take Philly. I just think I think they'll run Jalen Hurts more. I think Jalen Hurts ups his game when he knows he doesn't have to preserve anything for next week. And I think we've seen it in the playoffs. He turns into more of a mobile quarterback as well.
Okay, so this is the problem I have. So they're last. Looking at playoff teams that they played recently, since November. Against the Packers, they scored 10 points. Against the Lions, they scored 16 points. Against the Bears, they scored 15 points. Chargers, they scored 22 points. They won late on that Monday night. And against the Bills, they scored 12 points. You can't do that in the playoffs and win.
How many losses they had?
Every game I named was a loss except for the Chargers and the Bills. So they were 2-2 in those games.
And they're 11-5 on the year. You just name most. Now tell me about
their win. You know what? I lied.
Tell me about their win.
They won every game except Chicago because they beat the Packers, they beat the Lions, they lost Chicago. I'm sorry, they lost to the Chargers. They lost to the Chargers.
They lost to the Chargers. That was the only game. I remember that. Remember that was like the interception. At the game that was his only game. He was throwing the ball like he was crazy.
And he lost to the Bears.
Yeah, like 5 interceptions or something that.
So of the games I named, they're 4-2.
And he's beaten almost everybody. Name his wins. Name who the Eagles have beaten this year.
They beat the Chiefs. Is that a good win?
I mean, it's Mahomes. Go ahead.
They beat the Rams at home.
Take it.
They beat the Bucks. Is that a good win?
Hey, possible playoff team.
Lost to the Broncos.
That's a tough opponent.
They beat the Eagles. They beat the Vikings. They beat the Vikings.
At the time, no.
They beat the Packers.
Good win. That's when they had Micah.
They beat the Lions.
That's a good win. That's when they was running high.
And they beat the Bills.
hey, they got the job done.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying it with my chest. I'm just telling you, looking at this field.
I guess
we're gonna do this next week. This is gonna be an exercise.
I guess the only thing I'll say is in their defense, the only game that they play in better weather, if it's San Fran or LA, then I think the offense is better. But in Philly, Chicago, they used to have cold weather. So if they go out west and weather's better, the offense may be better. So I'll give them that. But
this is what I'm gonna do. Next week, we're gonna do an exercise. Mike and Mike used to do it every year, called confidence picks. I think we did it last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Rank your quarterbacks who you have the most confidence in. And it'll surprise you. Now, you might say Stafford, but I don't know.
Look, I'll say two things. One, I think the NFC South is probably gonna be last, and two, Purdy may be higher than I think.
And then he previously was. Look, and I respect that because Purdy has impressed me. I'm not hating. I've never been a Purdy hater, but I like the team overall. Because, like you say, look at all the people they've been missing.
Yeah.
Man, that's a phenomenal story, man. And I think it's been underreported. I shout out to Leonard, man. That's your team. Even you wasn't even loud beating each other about him this year.
Didn't we talk about the IU situation, how awkward that was? And that was your number one receiver coming into the league. Didn't even talk about that.
That's crazy. But we got this. Just me with me. But let's talk about some of these bad teams real quick. Because what's up with Trayvon Diggs? What's going on here?
So supposedly the last straw was last week. Well, I'm sorry, on Christmas. They played in D.C. He's from this area. He asked to stay behind to celebrate Christmas with his family. They told him no. This is early in the week. He asked again on Christmas. They told him no. And then he got into a verbal argument. He said, look, all I'm going to do is when we get back, I'm going to take the first flight back out here. So why can't I just stay out here? And supposedly that kind of added to it. He's already been going back and forth with Jerry because of his contract and his production. You know how when Jerry pays you, he expects his production from you. And he was already talked about him getting released, and they just did it in advance.
But then they didn't activate him or something.
They didn't activate him correct. Correct. They didn't activate him correct. So he wasn't even eligible to play. So he was just traveling with the team. And it's stupid because you're already over the cap next year, and now you're going to add to that because this takes place this season. So it's stupid to even do it that way as well. So this is another instance in which you're the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. You have the safest job in America, no matter what dumbass decision you make. So
I'm trying to think, where would you even go?
He said he wants to go to a contender. So
maybe Detroit, they need some help.
They're not a contender.
You don't think they'll be a contender next year?
No, he was talking about contender this year. He
wanted to be picked up now.
Yeah. He clears waivers. He could sign with anybody, but
Philly could use another corner. They always could use another corner.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the problem is if you pick him up, you got to pick up the remainder of his contract, whatever. So can you fit that in? I mean, Philly, like you said, Philly's a good team. Jacksonville.
Who had injury?
San Francisco. We talked about that defense a little bit earlier, and you're getting a corner. Let's say he's an above average corner, and he's healthy. He'll be the healthiest player on your defense. So
Jacksonville, because they lost your boy, the receiver,
Travis Hunter. Yeah,
Travis Hunter. Yeah. It'd be interesting to look at though.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Philly makes sense because, like you said, he's from this area. So Philadelphia is the closest playoff team to this area. They got
Quinyon Mitchell on one side,
and they traded for somebody.
The weak side is the bum. They get attacked all the time. Oh man, they got him from New England. I think. Yeah, but they're not strong on the other side. So they always roll coverage over there and just let Mitchell handle one side of the field.
No, it's not. Because Cooper Dean plays.
Cooper is a safety,
but he plays in that. He's been rolling to that side, kind of playing outside. Yeah.
He like a slot corner though.
Yeah,
like Marlon do. Marlon don't need to play outside at all. Anyway, but interesting stuff. Let's move on.
Vegas got number one pick though, so that's already locked up.
That's a whole nother story. I think they should go to the lottery format in NFL. That's my opinion on the whole matter because it's tanking stuff. That was ridiculous. How you barred Brock Bowers from coming to the facility?
They did that to him too.
Yes, barred him from the facility.
I know. He did that to Crosby,
the defensive end, and put them both on IR. And they said, "Oh, he getting surgery." He said, "I'm fine. I was going to get surgery regardless. I could still play the last game of the season, last 2 games. Ain't nothing wrong with me to that." They was tanking 100%.
Yeah, because if they would have beat the Giants would have got to number 1. I think the Giants would have had the inside track number 1. I don't think they would have blocked it up.
But think about that. The Giants still was playing Jackson Dart. They were still trying to do everything they could to win. And honestly, the Giants probably should have tanked. You know what I mean?
They score up on them.
But the Giants don't need a quarterback.
So correct. So they want to trade that.
No reason to
they can trade that pick. Yeah.
So I get it. Vegas, you need a quarterback, but are you that high on the Heisman Trophy guy? What's his name?
Mendoza.
Mendoza, yeah.
I heard they were high on Dante Moore from Oregon.
Dante Moore, yeah.
I don't think he's said he was coming out yet. Last time checked.
Only person I heard to say they was going back was Arch Manning. But
I thought the guy from South Carolina.
Yeah. He said he's gonna do another year. Yeah. So we'd be interested. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on him. We got plenty of time to talk about bums. But next up, let's look back at last week. We all went 5-5. 5. I took the Seahawks.
That was the Rams. Was that the Rams week?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Rams week was yeah. That's what it was. The Eagles. We all took the Eagles. We all took the Bears. You took the Chargers. Good on you for that. I think that was against
the Cowboys.
Yeah, you bet against the Cowboys. Me and Justin went with the Cowboys. He took the Bengals. 49.
They ran the score that week. That was they played the Dolphins because Burrow put up numbers. Yeah.
And then Justin took the Patriots over the Ravens. Good on him for that. So first time he's tied us. Good job, Justin.
Still don't help him out.
So technically, this was the last week of the regular season. I think we'll keep this going into the playoffs. I'm up by 3 right now because the last week of the season, really a lot of these games, a lot of people not playing. It's really not really even nothing you can really bet on. So we just picked a couple games here and there. But another thing, shout out to Calvin.
I didn't even put it in the chat. I meant to put it in the chat. I was busy today, but
congratulations. Look, guys, I am not a sore loser. I will say this. When I handed over being commissioner to Calvin, the next very season that I handed over, I won the title. So
yes, you did.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to tell you what happened with the money. I split the money with Calvin. So if he want to return the favor, he can always do that. But I did split the money with him. Now, last year, Reggie had no business winning. If y'all go back and look, the last 3 years, I've been in first place the whole season.
Well, let's also say this. I beat you 3 times this season.
You did.
You were undefeated against everybody else. So
I'm not mad. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad. It was I don't know what it was. Like when we played each other, you were scheduled to make more points that week. Your team wasn't better than mine. It's just for some reason. I only lost 3 games all year, and they were all to you.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. It's almost like it was like God, you're not beating Calvin this year. That just is what it is. I play him. I think somebody put up 100. It was I had Matthew Stafford on the bench. He put up 100.
Put up 100. Yeah.
I start Josh Allen. He does nothing. I put Matthew Stafford in the next week. He does nothing. Anyway, I finished in 3rd place. It is what it is. Last year, I lost to Reggie on some bull crap. So 3 years in a row, I've been robbed of the crown. 2 years in a row after winning the crown the first year, I've been robbed. But this year, I will say, Yahoo, I don't know what happened here because let's go back and look at this really quick. I want to pull the bracket up, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, you didn't. You ain't change your lineup last week, did you?
No, I still won, but I didn't change it. I was the number 1 overall seed. I was lined up with you somehow in my bracket.
I was the 4 or 5, 1 or 2.
But I should have been lined up with Reggie. But for some reason, Reggie went on the other side.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It would have mattered.
No,
because I should have played Reggie last week.
Reggie put up 380 last week.
and I still would have beat him.
You sound nice. I looked at him like, if Justin would have won his last game, I'd have been at the bottom of the bracket, and Reggie would have beat me because he put up like 370 back-to-back weeks going into the finals.
He was hot, even going into this week.
I forgot.
I thought he was going to do better.
He had Purdy. Mm-hmm. He had Kyron Williams. He had somebody.
Kyron did
somebody
nothing.
Else. Kyron did nothing.
Your score looked better because Bijan went off last night.
Yeah, because Bijan. Yeah,
it was closer.
Yeah, I had like 280 going to last 290, whatever.
It was closer.
Bijan.
Like,
yeah, because it was a world where Kyron goes off and Bijan does nothing, and it gets real interesting. Score a
touchdown. Yeah.
After the 93 yard, I'm like, oh, that's a wrap. When he got off of that, I'm like, all right.
It went for almost 200. He did go over 200 all purpose.
I thought, 200 all purpose.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But shout out to you. Congratulations. You win. On to next year. Anyway, before we get out of here, let's talk some quick NBA. Last week, player of the week, Kawhi Leonard averaged 41 points a game. Now, one of them nights, he had like 50 in the third quarter. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, through 3 quarters. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown averaging 32 points. Man, he's been hot, honestly, for a while. If you go back and look, he gets you over 25 every night. He's been consistent. Good on him. And he's got his team humming. But something big happened last night, and it could have been a lot worse. Man, Nikola Jokic, if you haven't been paying attention, he's on his way to his third MVP. And maybe fourth. The man's been averaging big numbers. But at this point, he goes down with a left hyperextension knee, going to miss 4 weeks. You know, that's going to take a major hit to his campaign. Thankfully, he isn't out longer. So about a month of play, probably missed the All-Star game.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, probably won't come back to the second half of the season. Hopefully his team is still in contention. This is the team I chose to go to the finals this year to beat beat OKC in the Western Conference Championship. But Denver's been looking good. I think San Antonio's been looking good. But it's good news that it wasn't as bad as it initially looked.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Jokic, how he's been doing this year?
Because I didn't see a lot. I think I was scrolling social media watching the football game. Somebody that said something. I went to go find a video, and you weren't sure because he kind of felt awkward. Like could have been an ACL, and then you're waiting for the MRI to come out today. I think you play it safe with him because you know what he can do, and you know if he's on the court, you have a chance to compete. So why rush him back? I don't care if you're a 1 through 8 seed with Jokic. You know he's going to compete, and you're going to compete with him. So get him healthy, and you're fine. But like you said, as much as I picked him to win the title, as much as I think that he's elevated beyond what he is for whatever reason, the game is better when Jokic is playing. 100%. And don't want him to be hurt. Want him to be out there. He was having an MVP caliber season. He was averaging triple-double. You know, the only reason you weren't talking about him as much recently is because the Spurs had beaten OKC like 3 times, and it was 3 times. Yeah, 3 times like a week and a half or something like that.
You're right. One was in the tournament. Yep.
Yeah, but Jokic get healthy, and this is a chance for. And I think Aaron Gordon is still out as well, so they may take a little hit, and all of a sudden you're looking up and they're, fighting to get in the playoffs out of the play-in. But once Jokic comes back, he'll establish his dominance again. But it's a matter of him getting healthy for the playoffs. So he's got a ton of time to get healthy.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that. But shout out to the big fella. He's been pretty healthy most of his career.
I saw that stat where he's missed like 20 games over the last 6 years or something like that.
That's wild when you think about today's NBA. And that's for anything. You know what I mean? Even rest will get you more than that.
Yeah.
I did something. I went back because we haven't really talked extensively about NBA in a few weeks. So I went back to the last time we posted the Western Conference standings was on December the 9th and compared it to the standings that were out as of this morning. And OKC was 23-1. And now they're, 28-5?
Yeah. 5-4 over the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks, yeah. Wow. 3 of those losses with San Antonio.
That shows you how quickly things change because they were dominating, rolling. Mm-hmm. The Lakers were 17-6, sitting in second place, and now they falling down.
Yeah, they can't play defense again.
5th place. I mean, still, really, if you look at the loss column, 10 losses is basically right there.
Yeah, you know right in that second window. Yeah, second through 6 or whatever. Yeah.
On LeBron James is 42nd birthday today.
41. I thought
41. A lot of people been saying, "Oh, he ain't playing no defense." I'm like, bruh,
he ain't played defense in 4 or 5 years.
Defense? What are we talking about here?
And that's part of the problem when you got Luka and Austin Reeves. You have no defenders around him, so it's kind of like you gotta who's playing defense. At least when you had AD, you had somebody at the rim, but I don't know.
Yeah, so sitting at that third spot, you got Denver still sitting there. You know that will change.
I think
Jamal Murray doesn't go insane. You know what I mean? But
I mean, even still, I don't think it's enough because you need Cam Johnson to step up as well because it's still missing. I think they're still missing Aaron Gordon unless they make a move. Yeah, I think they've fallen out at that top 6.
Houston's still sitting at that 4th spot. They've been pretty consistent, but not as spectacular as we saw from them early in the season. San Antonio has made the climb. You know what I mean? And I think
Wemby back.
Justin said this, and I don't think it's all Wemby either. You got to shout out Vasil. You got Castle,
and
Harper. And this is without Darren Fox. Some of these games.
I was gonna say, and Fox look good as well.
Yeah, but Fox been out a couple of these games, and Ron Harper's son, he been playing well. Like I really like what I've been seeing out of the rotation, and Wemby's back. He's in the starting lineup again. He was coming off the bench for a little while there. I don't know. Look, I don't think he's MVP level or nothing like that.
DPOY definitely though. If he got the game,
serviceable. He get you 20 a night, 22, 23 at best. Some nights he'll get you 18. I don't think he's the scoring machine that you would hope a man of his size would be. And I don't know if that's just the minutes restriction he's been on, and he'll warm up as the season goes along. Maybe they're doing a good job at just pacing him right. But I think the fact that his supporting cast has come along nicely has really made this team dangerous. And the ability to beat OKC means something. They're deep, man. They match up well. I mean, go look at it. These games ain't close, some of them.
I agree. It makes me wonder, like, does OKC, I don't want to say get desperate, but they make a move to kind of combat their ineffectiveness against the Spurs? Is this a Giannis team? Because OKC, if they have the most to offer for Giannis if they want him. Now, does he make a difference in this matchup? Maybe they think so, but I think it makes it interesting when he comes back. And I don't know what his timetable is either, but I think it makes it interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then Minnesota still hovering around that same spot they were in. And then you got the play-in teams. Play-in teams are all the exact same. It's just wild when you just look at a snapshot of things from a month prior.
They just rotate a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only jumps really is the Spurs. The Lakers have taken a little bit of a dip. They basically switched spots. The Spurs
everybody else
and
the
Lakers,
same.
Pretty much the same. You know what I mean? The Clippers, the bottoms of the bottom. You know what I mean? It is even with Kawhi playing better. They ain't no better. Shout out to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag's up this game. He's coming along nicely. I don't think you should put too much pressure on the young man, looking for too much out of him in his first year. But I think they've done a good job. And look, I know they're a bad team, but I've been watching Derek Queen for the New Orleans Pelicans. He's been playing better, slowly coming along. I like what I see out of these young players and see we can see as they mature. Lauri Markkanen out there in Utah, I think he's been playing well. But these are bad teams, but I'm just looking at some of these players that I've been seeing have been coming along. It'll be interesting to see what we see out of Portland because I think they have some playmakers, man. If they can make a move or two, that Portland team could be dangerous. Might not be this year, but they can load up a little bit. They might be all right. They got some scores, man.
And then it's a team to look at. Like if all of a sudden the Giannis is gone, guess who has their picks as well?
Oh, yeah.
From that Dame trade.
Yeah, the Dame trade. Yeah. Interesting. Now, over in the East, same type of deal. Detroit still pretty much right there. We all talk about what three losses this entire month.
Yep.
Not too bad of a dip. New York hovering around the same record. They've been playing very well. Boston, look at this. Ain't it wild when you really just look at the comparison? The team that I've been a little bit, surprised by, I guess.
Toronto.
Yes. I'm like, man, they hanging in there. Give them credit. You know what I mean? Scotty Barnes is very underrated.
Yeah.
I think they're not bad, man.
He just had like 25 rebounds or something the other night.
Ridiculous. But hey, man, nothing. Giannis is back. We'll see if the Bucks will make a move or if they're going to try to just make a push. I like that little scuffle he got into after the Duncan.
Oh, I saw that.
Grow up. It's basketball, man. It is what
I
it
like
is.
his explanation too. Like, look, we suck. We need some energy. We need to win.
Pump it up. Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Atlanta.
He did that on the road, though, right? He did that on the road, right?
Yeah, he was on the road. I need more out of Atlanta, man. I need more out of Atlanta. I know Trey just came back, but
they were playing well with them, and then they kind of like the ball movement, and it's been talked about trading him just because he doesn't really fit, but they really don't have any other point guards or any other ball handles on the team.
Yeah.
So,
but to me, the most disappointing team in the East is the Cleveland Cavaliers. What the hell?
Yeah. Especially after last year. But they started off like 21 and 24-1, something like that. They were head and shoulders. This is the same team? What's different?
Ridiculous, man.
What's different?
Ridiculous. No consistency. That's what the difference is. Yeah. And Donovan is good, but this supporting team is just one night. You trust me, if you look at my bet slips, I can speak to it. One night he gets help from Garland. One night he don't. One night he gets help. Like it's just like nothing consistent. Oh, it's terrible. It's aggravating, really. Anyway, what else you looking at?
Been real up and down. Look, Orlando's starting to play better. Than I think. When you look at their record, they were what 3-4 since. But I think they've been playing better as a whole. Just trying to get I'm blanking on his name, that the guy that came from Memphis, trying to get him involved more. And I think they'll continue to get better. Detroit still being the top of the East going to the new year is something I didn't see. I figured they would fall off eventually, but they're still playing well, still being led by Cade Cunningham. And look, Indiana, I know this is a kind of a bye year for them. You lose Miles Turner and you don't have Tyrese Halliburton, but I still expect more from them, and I still do expect more from them. I think they have a move in them to get a center, maybe a Zubac, and that kind of sets them up for next year. But I didn't expect them to be this bad. I thought they would get better over the course of time, and it still hasn't. And like you said, Atlanta is surprising. I had high hopes for Atlanta with who they signed, their wings, them potentially be a stealth Giannis team. Yeah. They just haven't had that cohesion yet. And you need if you say if you're worried about Trey on the defensive end and about how you're hunting him, but you have all these other long, lanky defenders, and then you lose them and you start off hot, and then you kind of fizzle as he starts to come back. I'm not sure what's really going on in Atlanta. It seems like there's more.
He ain't consistent.
Yeah, it seems like there's more going on. There's more unhappiness than we really know. So they've been disappointed so far going to the new year.
Yeah, but Detroit, man, gotta shout out Detroit, man.
Yeah.
They doing their thing. And Boston, man.
No Tatum.
I'm telling you, if they can hang around till Tatum get back, I would not be shocked if Tatum is there for the playoffs and they make a run. I would not be shocked. Pritchard, White, they doing their job, man. I could put them on a ticket just about every night, and I'm coming away with something. Trust me.
I don't understand the Anthony Simons up and down minutes, but it's been consistent. So yeah, don't look at him no more. So
yeah, so that's fun, man. It's been cool. Really enjoy what's going on in the NBA. Basketball. We're going to talk a lot of basketball in the next couple months, so we'll have plenty of time to get into more of that. But this weekend is basically a playoff game for the Baltimore Ravens, man. It is what it is. This is the playoffs. You want to get in, win a game. We beat Pittsburgh in the wild card last year at home, so it's not like it can't be done. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. The key to this game for me, stop Gainwell with them little swing dump off passes out the backfield. I thought Cleveland did an excellent job of that last week. Mm-hmm. They held that man in check. They didn't let Warren run all over the field. The Ravens defense quietly has not been that good. If you really look at outside that Cincinnati game where they forced turnovers at opportune times, we give up inopportune plays at the wrong time. But I just don't want them to take for granted that Pittsburgh's just going to lay over and die, and they're not going to push the ball down the field at all. That's what happened in the first game. All of a sudden, DK running past you. It might be
no DK.
Scotty Miller. It might be like some little guy, little receiver. Calvin Austin might play. You never know. And they'll run right past us because we playing them stupid, thinking, oh, they ain't going nowhere. And then, boom, run past you. Or a handoff get botched and a fumble. Or some type of, Queen's just going to run straight downhill and try to blow something up. Like offensive line, do something stupid. No fumbles by Derrick Henry. We just got to play a clean football game, and I think the Ravens will come out with a victory.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because Voorhees is out, definitely, right?
Yeah.
So you'll see if you wanted to see Emory Jones, you're gonna see him now.
We'll see.
So now you'll either be proven right or you'll see why he wasn't playing at all. One or two.
And that's it. Anything else you want to discuss before we get out of here tonight?
College football playoff Thursday and Friday, I think. So that'd be interesting. We'll be down to the Final Four when we come back next week.
Who you got overall?
I want to say it's going to be a rematch, Indiana and Ohio State, but I think I'm going to go Indiana, Oregon. I think that could be a one. I think they can match up in the finals. I got to check the bracket again.
I thought you was going to go Ohio State, but
no.
Though that was a great game, you know what I mean. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It was a defensive struggle.
I'll lie, they can't meet in the finals. They're gonna play. So I got Indiana, Georgia.
Whew. Man, I don't know about that. Who Alabama plays?
Indiana. This is Oregon, Texas Tech, 5-4, Alabama, Indiana, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Miami, Ohio State. Those are 4 matchups.
I like your pick. I'm gonna dig into it more.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. But like I said, by the time we come back next week, there'll be Final Four. There's something to watch on New Year's Day.
Yeah. So. It's always fun, New Year's football. So on Thursday, it'll be good. But we won't see you all till next week. So happy New Year to every one of you and your families.
Yes.
And we praying for a happy and successful and a healthy 2026. Yes. And we're going to be continuing to bring you more of the football content, basketball. Playoffs is right around the corner. And, of course, next week, big show next week. I know you think, it's week 18, nothing really talk. We're not going to be reviewing no games for the weekend other than the Ravens game, Tampa Bay for Justin. And we're going to get into these playoff matchups because the very next week is the wild card, and we're going to do our confidence picks. We'll do coaches. We'll do quarterbacks, defenses. And then, of course, we'll look at superlatives from the season. Who's our MVP pick? Who's our coach of the year? We'll have all that. Next week, no basketball. It's all NFL. So get ready for 2 hours of top to bottom. And then the week after that, because the Pro Bowl also came out. We need to look at the Pro Bowl. Yeah. Man, we got a lot to cover. Yeah. We missed the week, so we're a little bit behind. But we're going to make it up for you guys. Yeah. So next week, be back on our regular night because there's no holidays. Next week is my mother's birthday on Tuesday, so we definitely be back on Wednesday. So next Wednesday, back in our regular spot, and we'll be talking all the latest in the NFL. So be prepared. And Justin will be back next week. Tonight was his wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Danica. I know you're checking in.
Happy birthday.
From all of us to get out the damn fence. Hope you enjoyed a very happy birthday. And it's only right that Justin is somewhere celebrating with you on your night. We wouldn't allow him to log on your birthday. That would have been unacceptable.
As he sends a message in. Oh, no, I'm joking. He didn't do that.
But anyway, we appreciate y'all checking us out. And once again, enjoy a safe, happy New Year's Eve.
Everyone. Yeah.
If y'all going out, check your P's and Q's. Always watch 6. And y'all have a good time. All right. From Calvin, I'm Larry. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Get off the damn fence. We'll see you next week right here.